What's up, those TCG here, and welcome to another TCG video on my channel. Usually I talk about competitive Pokemon trading card game videos, but today let's do something fun and talk about banned Pokemon cards. Yeah, that's right, Pokemon banned certain cards for tournament plays throughout the years. In this video, we are gonna check them out. There aren't that many banned cards, not like in Yu-Gi-Oh! Or other card games for that matter, but Pokemon does have some interesting ones nevertheless. Let's dive straight into it with the first one on my list being Sneasel from the Neo Genesis set. When we first look at the card, we say like, meh, why should this card even be banned? Well, let's take that back 17 years ago where the TCG scene was rather new and we didn't have those fancy EXs or GXs with overpowered HP and attack. Well, then we see that the standard attacks of popular Pokemon used to be fairly low. We had 20 damage for a single energy that was considered really good, like Pokemon like Hitmonchan from the base set. Or potentially 40 damage for 2 energies with Electabuzz. Those were incredibly played at a lot of tournaments, so those were really great. Now let's check out Sneasel. For 2 Darkness energies, we flip a coin. For every Pokemon we had in play, nevertheless, dealing up to a maximum of 120 damage if you were great with coin flips. But yeah, thinking about it, 60 damage was an average. So that alone destroyed the format right there because everyone was playing this. Combine this that Darkness was a special energy type where you can attach it to Darkness types and then you deal 10 damage more. So an average of 80 damage knocks out great stuff like Hitmonchan and Electabuzz in one shot. So we have kind of an overpowered Pokemon by our side. So it also has no weakness and free retreat, so that made Pokemon like Sneasel dominate all the tournaments at that period of time. So Pokemon had to put the ban hammer on that card just to keep the game fresh, because a tournament filled with all the same decks is just not fun and not fair indeed. Next up on my list, the Slowking, which followed the Sneasel, also got the ban hammer from Neo Genesis. That Slowking card is interesting, but that wasn't the fault of the card, but rather a fault through the translation from Japanese to English. Yeah, let's just check it out. Oh boy, Pokemon really screwed up this time. It's Pokemon Power. Those were the abilities back in the days, Pokemon Powers. In Pokepower Mind Games stated, whenever your opponent plays a trainer card, meaning, yeah, there were no supporters, they were all just trainer cards, you may flip a coin. If heads, that card does nothing and the opponent puts it back on top of their deck. Alright, first up, in the Japanese version of this card, this Pokemon Power only worked when it was active. So that means that, yeah, it has a 3 retreat cost and yeah, it wasn't that good, it wasn't that broken. Well, in the English version, they simply forgot to add the text when it's active. That means we could have multiple Slowkings on the fields and those can actually stack up. So let's say we have, for example, 2 of these Slowkings out. This means your opponent has only 25% of landing a successful trainer card. Other than that, they are stuck and they have to put it back on top of their deck and they repeat the progress every time they draw a card. So they're stuck and they automatically lose. So yeah, the failure was a lot. When you get 3 Slowkings out, the chances are even less for the opponent. It slowed the game down, and the only thing the Slowking player only had to do is run a switch and just a viable attacker that slaps up some damage here and there. So that was kind of a great deck back in the days, and yeah, after a bazillion turns where your opponent draws the same card because they had to put it back on top of their deck, yeah, you can kind of see how Slowking got a ban here and there. So Pokemon banned that card and they did not even correct it or erase it. So let's say they release a card like this nowadays, like let's say Electrode from the Evolution set. Well, they reprint the card, erase it, and bam, it's fine. Well, back in the days they did not do it, they banned it straight away, and that is something I still can't get my mind wrapped around it. Anyways, next up is the Ancient Mew card that was given out at cinemas and theaters across the world when people came to see the new Pokemon movie, The Power of One. Also, fun fact is that card was also shown in that particular movie. This isn't an overpowered card, nor is it an expensive one, even though people in the 90s often claim that this is a gold mine and it was super rare. Nothing more than schoolyard talk, in my opinion. It might look shiny even on both sides, that is cool. The card is unreadable and thus not legal for tournament play back in the day. It's still a nice collection item to put it in your binder though, because it brings back a couple of memories here and there. The Ancient Mew card still makes me smile every time I check it out. Next on the list, Birthday Pikachu. This is one of those fun promo cards that was spread out during the Wizards of the Coast era, and was at a mail campaign where people could draw a picture of their favorite card, and in return the Wizards of the Coast would send out these Birthday Pikachus. Really original idea. The card was banned though because there was an attack involved with the day you were born, which is kind of absurd. It dealt 30 damage, and if it was your birthday you could flip a coin. If heads, it would deal 50 more damage. Also keep in mind that the format was not ready for two energies dealing 80 damage, and it being way too hard to tell what your official birthday was. People are often claimed or lied with that card, and they did not have their ID with them, so Pokemon decided, let's ban this card altogether to get all the unnecessary arguments out of the way. Now that we try time travel back into the current age, where let's say 2015, around that era, where full arts and EXs are around, they are a thing. Nowadays we have GXs, but in 2015 we didn't have any GX. So here we did have the Lysandre Trump card. And why was this card banned? First, let's just explain the card. It lets each player shuffle all cards from their discard pile back into their deck, except for that card itself. I myself used Lysandre's Trump card at tournaments together with a Seismitoad deck, together with hammers like Crushing Hammers and Enhanced Hammers. Now you can just state that through your mind, this deck was overpowered. With a combo of VS Seeker, we could reuse the Lysandre's Trump card and just multiple times get everything back from the discard. So if you use Lysandre's Trump card, you get everything back. If we use VS Seeker and use Lysandre's Trump card, we still get everything back. And so we had an endless combo where you could get your best cards like Computer Search 8-spec cards, Max Potion, and all your hammers that you would need throughout the ages just to survive turn after turn. The games got dragged on so long that all the matches, certainly some of them ended in ties and stuff, and the win condition of people playing aggressively without thinking about the consequences, people discarded everything. They were not afraid of discarding, using a Sycamore for 3 VS Seekers, whatever. So they were really not paying attention, and the game got kind of broken when another win condition got out of the way. People could not deck out. That was also one of the win conditions of Pokemon that got scrapped altogether with Lysandre's Trump card, so they put the ban hammer on it straight from the bat. Actually, not straight from the bat. They actually made some tournament play here and there, but then they decided, wow, this is getting out of hand, let's ban it. Next up, Shiftry came all the way from Next Destinies. I already made a booster box about that set. If you want to check it out, I already made a lot of booster box videos on my channel, but nowadays, I'm focusing more on the competitive scene. So with Forest of Giant Plants being still in the standard format when this video was created, it got released with Ancient Origins. Well, what that actually did is make Shiftry kind of the one-hit KO Pokemon to go to, but let me explain this. It had an ability Giant Fan. When you evolve into Shiftry, you may flip a coin. If heads, choose one of your opponent's Pokemon, and then your opponent shuffles that Pokemon and all cards attached to it back into their deck. Imagine getting 4 of those out, which was not that hard considering that Forest of Giant Plants kind of made it possible to evolve without having to wait a turn straight into the Shiftries. And thinking about it, Seedot was a grass type, and Nuzleaf also became a grass type in Flash Fire. So that meant that Shiftry could get out on turn 1. And just think about it. Having the Decidueye GX out on turn 1 nowadays is just as easy as it was back in Expanded, where you can get out a Shiftry on turn 1, use the ability, and get your opponent's active Pokemon back into their deck. Whoop, they're gone, and you win the game with your opponent not even drawing a single card. And that's why Pokemon immediately decided, this cannot be the case here, let's just ban that card. And to finish off the video, here are some worth mentioning cards. Actually, one card that I still want to mention, but specifically that it states on the card itself that it cannot be used at tournament play. So it's not banned, it's just stated that it cannot be played. We have Imakuni's Dodio, which has a Pokepower as well. It has Frenzied Escape. When this Dodio retreats, hold this card and throw it as hard as you can because Dodio is running away. throw the card horizontally with a snap to get the farthest distance. So this was obviously meant as a joke, but imagine yourself that there are tournaments where people are throwing their cards at each other. Really hilarious indeed. And with that, yeah, funny card, we end this video about all the Pokemon cards that got banned throughout the year. So yeah, will Pokemon ban more cards, or will they print cards in the future sets that will break the game because of older cards? We'll have to wait and see. For now, I do predict that more cards will get banned soon when new ones get released, because just think about it, with Forest of Giant Plants it's easy to create an overpowered combo. The same goes with special conditions like Hypnotoxic Laser. The expanded format will get its fair share of crazy combos, and that will lead to banned cards in my opinion. Let me know in the comment section what you think about banned cards and what you think which cards will get banned soon. Also, if you enjoyed the video or videos like these in particular, destroy the like button, because you know I always appreciate that and it gives me the motivation to make more and better TCG content for you guys. And with that, I'll be taking my leave. Have an amazing day guys, and I'll be seeing you guys soon enough with more Pokemon trading card game videos. So be sure you are subscribed so you don't miss out. Haha, I'm out. Peace.